I'm Danny, aka Topless. I'm hiking the Pacific Crest Trail from Mexico to Canada. I'm 1,866 miles in. Camped with the Kilometer Kids last night. They're a lot of fun. And I actually don't know the plan today, which is kind of fun. I've got a spring, I think 6 miles ahead. Maybe I'll catch up to them and see if there's a plan or if we're just walking until we can't walk anymore. We did 27 miles yesterday, plus about an extra mile to get from the PCT down to the lake that we spent the night at, which was really nice. There was just a couple of mosquitoes, but lots of these tiny frogs, like just everywhere. Check out my video from yesterday if you want to see them, but they were adorable and everywhere. Our next stop is 60 miles away, I think. I'm at 66, I think it's at 920 maybe? I'll have to double check. I forget the name of it. It's like a resort or something. I'm still working with a really bad resupply from Crater Lake, the general store. It's mostly Pop-Tarts, graham crackers. I snagged a few apples, which are delicious but very heavy. Basically, I have a very heavy, bulky resupply, and I feel like it's been slowing me down. Hold on, I need to figure out how to get around this thing. That's about chest high, and I'm 6 foot tall. So we're just gonna go off here in the side bushes. There we go, we can step over this. Okay. So I don't know if you know this about me, but I lost like 60 to 80 pounds a couple years ago. And it was because, well, first of all, I knew nothing about food. My whole life, somehow, it had eluded me. And I've tried many diets, yada yada. But this time, well, my marriage was at stake. So I threw myself into it to figure it out. And it turns out I just knew nothing. And on top of that, it turns out I was addicted to sugar, basically my whole life. If you're overweight, let me be real with you for a second. Sugar is an addiction. That little voice in the back of your head that says, hey, go get some cookies. And when there are no cookies, hey, we could always go to the store and get some cookies. That is the voice of addiction, just so you know. I had no idea, because that voice was in my head my whole life. But once I finally got off of sugar, suddenly that voice went away for the first time ever. I was like 37 at the time. And from there, it was very easy to diet. Because the voice of addiction wants you to think that it's so hard. Oh, calories, food, nutrition facts, they're so hard. And that's BS. It's literally just a voice of an addiction trying to keep you addicted. So anyways, long story short, I cut the sugar, lost a lot of weight, and then was able to figure out, oh, this is how food works. Was able to lose a lot more weight. And then after that, the last thing was to cut out alcohol. Right now, on the trail, I'm finding that the type of stuff that's easy to buy and keeps well while hiking without a fridge is sugar and a lot of processed stuff. So it's been like a steady battle. How do I do a resupply and get food that's good for me? And I've had a couple resupplies where I purposely did not get any sugar at all. It's like no Starburst, no Jolly Ranchers, no nothing. This resupply is the opposite. I've got Pop-Tarts and just graham crackers are not that bad, but I've got literally peanut butter and jelly. And so far, I'm having a hard time breaking the seal on the jelly. It's like one of those squeeze bottles. I just don't want it. I don't want the sugar. But the thing is, it's heavy. And the package says it's 1 pound, 4 ounces. So I'm carrying around 1 pound, 4 ounces of sugar. If I was smart, I would eat it and I wouldn't have to carry it. Also, if I'm smart, I won't eat it because it's sugar. So I'm in a little bit of a conundrum there. This is like day 3 carrying a sealed bottle of jelly. This is actually the second time this has happened. The last time I had a bottle of jelly, I think I got maybe halfway through it. I just couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much. So yeah, little things like that. Got to deal with out here. Never know what your resupply is going to be. By the way, when I was losing weight, I wrote a book. I thought I was writing a diet book. Turns out I was writing a book about addiction, sugar addiction, and basically dealing with stuff, your own stuff. So if you want to check it out, it's called The Wind Power Diet by Danny Burble, and you just search on Amazon and you'll find it. And you know what? I'll just add a link to the description of this video. Oh man, I'm always filming uphill. I'm gonna change my intro to, hey, I'm topless and I only film uphill while hiking the PCT. Looks like we've got a lake off there in the distance. If I'm reading the map correctly, that's Miller Lake. I just ran into a couple of hikers who had signal on the side of the trail, and more COVID news basically. So there were definitely some people who got COVID and were at the Anything But Clothes hiker party back in, where was that? Ashland. And since then, there's been a couple scares where a couple other groups of hikers felt like they had symptoms, and so they went and got tested and things like that. And I just talked to a hiker on the side of the trail who said she shared a cabin with somebody who was close to the person at the hiker party, and now that person that she shared a cabin with is showing symptoms. So she's basically like calling her mom right now to let her know, and she's probably going to get tested when she gets to Bend. So we had a hiker 2 days ago who camped with our group, but she wouldn't come near us, and she set her tent up far away, and she set up her mat to have dinner with us far away, just because she said she had lunch with one of the people who were now going to get tested, so she might as well stay away from us. So the whole COVID scare has been kind of interesting again, because when we first got out here, it felt like COVID was almost over, and regardless, all of us hiking through the woods were, you know, outside of society, and you're outside the COVID bubble. And now it looks like COVID has infiltrated the bubble. So it's been interesting. The PCTA released some information about it to make sure everybody knew about it. The guy who threw the party, he also texted, like I got a direct text from him. He texted basically everybody in his phone just to make sure everybody knew. And yeah, so we're just playing it safe, doing our best. This whole Delta strain has been interesting. I personally, I'm 100% sure that I got COVID before it was a thing. Like 2 months before the country started talking about COVID, I was like, wait a minute, I had exactly that. I had the worst flu I've ever had in my life that knocked me out for like 3 to 4 weeks. And it turned out to be a viral thing. And then about a year later, when COVID was a thing, I got it again, but it was basically, it felt like a cold, and I went and got tested anyways, and I definitely tested positive, and then yeah, it was gone in like a day or two. So before I came out to this trail, I actually got vaccinated regardless. So it was actually kind of a big runaround. I literally got vaccinated, my second shot, the day that I was supposed to leave town or leave Vegas to start heading for the PCT, and I had to fight for it. They were like, we're not supposed to give it to you this early. And I'm like, I'm leaving the country. I need it now. So I've had it twice. I've been vaccinated. I'm sure if this whole Delta strain hits me, like regardless of the vaccination or whatever, like I'm not that concerned myself. I think my body just already has so many antibodies now. But it is kind of interesting to be back in that mindset of keeping distance from people and things like that while on the trail. So, womp womp, that's life. Yep, still pretty smoky out there. I just had another hiker tell me that there was trail magic up ahead at the road, which is 2.5 miles away. And where there's trail magic, there's usually a trash bag. So I'm gonna take this 1 pound, 4 ounce bottle of jelly and put it right in the trash bag. Problem solved. All right, I'm coming up on the road and the water cache and possible trail magic. I already see the water cache. Nice. What is it, buddy? Like, clearly I have your attention. What do you want? Oh, you're chewing?
Instead of spiritual.
That's probably your secret. I'm sure he's probably just chilling somewhere else.
Yeah, we're kind of
Yeah, the puppy's the best part. And here we have a wild 9-liter in his natural habitat. That was a pretty good stop, but it wasn't the trail magic we thought it was going to be. So apparently, if there's 2 ways out of there, there's the PCT as it is today, and there's a route called the alternate, which is the old PCT. And the old PCT is, I think, a couple miles shorter if you take the alternate, and they meet up again. And if you take the alternate, you'll come across the trail magic. And I wasn't in the mood. It was basically like, you'll see some people, they'll have a RV and they're giving away sodas and beers and things like that. And that's great, don't get me wrong. But I am so burnt out on sugar because of my resupply. And it's so hot out here today that I can't imagine hiking after having a beer. So I just walked right past, did the regular PCT. But the stop was nice. There was water. They had charging stations for phones, like they had batteries. So I got, I don't know, 20% on my phone, which was pretty nice. And got to hang out with some people. Some horses went by. Oh, they did not have a trash can. But thankfully, I know a lot of hiker trash. So I told everybody that I've got this strawberry jelly and I don't want all of it. Does anybody want some? Well, at first I offered the whole thing and nobody wanted the whole thing. But when I offered some, everyone was like, yeah, I'll take some. And so every other person's taking a swig. I got one on video.
I don't know, I've always been like, there it is. Oh my god.
I wish I could you too, but I don't think my body likes it.
And then I had somebody who was actually eating peanut butter and then they just put a whole bunch right into their peanut butter. So I at least am carrying less jelly. So it's a lighter load there. So all in all, good stop. I went 6 miles this morning to the first water stop, but I didn't need any water because I had 2 liters when I got there. So I took a break. I went another 6 miles to the water cache that I just showed you. And we're going 12 more miles, or 12 and a half, to lake and campground tonight. So I'm probably just gonna go another 6, take a break, have some food. So it's kind of a nice breakup today. 6 miles break, 6 miles break, 6 miles, 6 miles. It's pretty cool. That smoke is out there. Wow, there's a lake out there that's so big. I almost can't see the other side with the smoke. That's actually where we're going. So I just caught up with Produce and Echo and Hitch God, and they happen to be at this cove that's behind me. I just went for a swim, and it is gorgeous. Look how clear that water is. Yeah, good day. I also decided to take advantage of the water and kind of like rinse out, kind of wash my shirt and shorts. So looks like I'm gonna be here for a while I wait for them to dry. But I'm not complaining. Here's a shot without me in the way. There's my stuff drying. That's where I'm chilling. And then this right here is the cove. It's just gorgeous. Well, it's 6:45. My clothes are still a little bit damp, but I've got 1.5 miles to go to get to the camping grounds, which has pit toilets, which are a really nice thing to have in the morning. So I'm just gonna get back on trail and go another 1.5 miles. Our group split up. Riley is trying to get to Shelter Cove, which is the next stop, as soon as possible to see her parents. So she took an alternate route, and the rest of us went the regular way because we wanted to hit this cove to go swimming. But Produce and Echo were kind of walking out as I was walking in. They're fast, and they said they're just gonna walk as far as they can tonight because that means less miles for tomorrow. And right now Shelter Cove is 17 miles away from me. So yeah, like they're trying to catch up with Rally tomorrow basically. And I'm trying to figure out, do I want to keep hiking that far? Or do I want to just camp at this campsite with the pit toilets for the morning? So, I think 15 miles tomorrow is not really a big deal. And since it's already almost 7, even if I did walk further into the night, like it's only like an extra hour. I'd rather just get up earlier tomorrow and possibly catch up with them. But at the same time, hike your own hike. I'm glad I got a chance to just relax at that cove by myself for as long as I wanted. And I'm really not concerned with how soon I get into Shelter Cove or how soon I get out. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna take it as it comes. I just came across a box full of trail magic and turtle. And it looks like some people who had maybe a picnic or something just took whatever was left over, stuck it in a box, and left it for the PCT hikers. So there was chips and cookies and things like that. But I scored this, which is a can of chicken. So I can have some real food that's not sugar. I'd never carry a can of something like this backpacking, but to pick one up when I'm half a mile from where I'm stopping for the night seems great. And I don't even care about carrying the empty can because I'm only going another 15 miles tomorrow to a trash can. So perfect timing. Oh, and I already know from Burning Man experience that a can of chicken in water added to an instant noodle or a cup of noodle is perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna make some instant noodle with real chicken. Oh, I found it, but it's a lot of non-PCT people. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go right back into the woods and pitch a tent. Yeah, I'm just gonna camp right here. Oh, here's a spot. Look at this one. Nice and flat and perfect. There we go. But I can hear everybody down there. I wonder how loud they're gonna be tonight. I wonder what day of the week it is. Right, I got a cup of noodle, some chicken in water, and a cold soak. So this is gonna be perfect. If you didn't know, these cup of noodles, they only have like this much noodle in them, and the bottom half is empty. So the noodles expand. So I'm gonna have to bust this out to get it in here. So I'll show you in a second. See what I mean? It's got a bunch of empty space. Also, you know, cup of noodles not really the preferred thing on backpacking because I'm creating all this waste over here, just trying to bust it out. And when you put them in your bag, they squeeze and the cups basically become useless very quickly. So that's why I have to bust it out of the cup. But again, at that general store at Crater Lake, I really didn't have any choices. They didn't have instant noodle. They only had cup noodle. So I'm going to have to make it work. I do love that it fits into my cold soak perfectly. And for the record, it's not a Talenti jar. It's a cold soak I got from Triple Crown Outfitters. It's slightly bigger than Talenti jar. And now I'm putting chicken and water in it, which is quite literally chicken broth. All right, I'll just give that a few minutes. There you go. Real chicken noodle soup on the trail. Super happy. What an awesome end to an awesome day. Like, I got to go swimming in my own cove. I got completely clean. Like, look at my legs. They're not covered in dirt. I carefully walked all the way back from the lake just a second ago when I got more water to keep my feet also cleanish. Yeah, and I got real chicken noodle soup, and I got a sight before it got dark. Like, it's 8 o'clock now. It's perfect. So yeah, great end to a great day. Tomorrow, Shelter Cove.